while when it comes to, for example, Hazel and Tao, they went just from Div 2. It's not like they're coming here with a ton of ERL experience. This is their one chance to finally make it. No, this is like the start of their career. This is really young players that we're seeing here. And I think we're going to see a glimpse of their potential today. And I'm really excited to see how that's going to look.
Yeah, ready for that glimpses. We're now in 2 picks in bans. KC chose first pick. KCB chose red side. So we have yet to see a wonky draft.
True.
Which I'm glad for. I think it would hurt my brain. It's not that complicated, but after,
it would feel weird.
After playing this game for 15 years, yeah, it would feel weird. As we're gonna immediately see the Azir locked in.
Azir for Yahoo?
Yahoo!
Yahoo!
We were told by Chronicler that that's how you have to say it. Like a certain very heavily copyrighted character that if I mention, I'm sure we'll get sued. So, Yahoo! And we'll leave it at that, as now the Taliyah and Varus have been locked in on the opposite side. And this is, again, pretty stock standard in terms of what we would expect. Varus remaining relevant isn't surprising to me because I've seen so many years of pro play, but in the context of the changes to the game, it is definitely not the first, champion that I would have thought of.
It definitely feels pretty incredible, especially when you look at like solo queue win rates, one of the lowest win rates in the game, like 48, 47, something like that, and just has been struggling to find success. But in competitive, he just remains a staple, such good laning phase, versatility with the on-hit, with the lethality, so much range, and just an instant Sion lock-in for Canna, kind of forcing that Varus to go on-hit to have any sort of tank-killing ability. And then the Bard for Busio, just like that. Wow.
What a way to make a debut, too.
Yeah.
And I think one of the big things that's interesting about this matchup is that the #1 discussion around this KC roster that I've seen and that definitely we've been having behind the scenes is, are Caliste or will Caliste and Busio be the best bot lane in the league? And I'm leaning towards yes, based on how great Busio has been, based on the highs we've seen from Caliste. But this is not a game where they're necessarily going to get to prove it. But I do like giving Busio a playmaker like the Bard, especially against the Taliyah, the Varus, the champions without these big mobility skills. Definitely a chance for him to flex on this LEC stage.
Yeah, I mean, to speak honestly, I feel like for the past few years in the LEC, we've kind of missed a bot lane that felt complete. A lot of the time when we came to internationals, I think, for example, last year, G2, it felt like Lebrov was never really fully finding his mark, and I think Supa had a pretty poor world showing, and it's never felt like we've had that great of a bot lane that felt like they could really carry their team to success, especially as you go into internationals. But Caliste and Busio, this feels like 2 names that if they're able to gel well together, find that synergy, they could be the best bot lane in the league and finally be one of those bot lanes that can actually compete internationally.
I would be ready. More Lucian international. Some Lucian Nami maybe.
Lucian Nami.
The things I used to dream of instead of dreading when I'd see them locked in. But again, I do think we have a bad habit of looking at single players and being like, this is the player that will save our region. But maybe Busio's different. And I'm sure everyone in NA is like, okay, if we had to lose him, at least you guys are salivating over the fact that he might,
Yeah. I mean, it's not like Busio. It would be very sad for NA if Busio just came and joined like a bottom tier team and just
that would be sad.
Fizzled out, but he's joining.
Crazy that after 1 game you're calling KC a bottom tier team. We have not even gotten in, bro. Please, chill.
He's joining a lineup that I think definitely has the potential to win the split. But I mean, there's a lot of hopes here, and we really need to see how they're going to perform, but I felt like Caliste, the potential I've seen from him and all the greatness I saw from him was so high. I remember his first stand versus Jackie Love. I was super impressed, and just at the aggression he has and how willing he is to play forward. Curious to see what ADC is going to lock in here. They lock into Xin Sao and leave him for last.
Now have Zen, of course, we did see AD carries banned as well as supports in the second phase. The Bard had already been locked in. So no Rel, no Alistair, no Corki or Sivir. Last pick going to Caliste. What is the option going to be on the opposite side? Of course, the Vi and the Aatrox locked in since we last checked. So some pretty straightforward, pretty comfortable, I would say, drafting as some cheeky hovers here.
I think it's going to be the Astral. I'd be very surprised if it's the Vayne.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard into the Vi later on as she just presses ult on you. But with the Astral, you can buffer that Vi ultimate. You can keep range against the rest of their champions and outrange the Varus. And overall, Astral Bard, great synergy together. A lot of range there and a lot of pickup potential. As Primus hovering the Seraphine. I think he's just trolling a bit. And he's just going to look in the Nautilus.
Nautilus there. All right. straightforward, pretty simple. Looks like a comfortable draft from the side of KCB. A little bit more spice on the side of KC with things like the Bard, but against so many immobile champions, you can see why the option would be there. Early aggression is coming from Yike and Canna on tanks. Something that we, the big kind of epiphany for KC last year was getting Canna off tanks. This year, they're putting him back on, trying it out again, seeing how it fits.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. If you have a bot lane that can snowball hard and actually really play for them, then putting your top laner on tank is kind of just a known recipe for success.
Also, as a side note before we get into game, shout out to all the KC fans here, because normally they're contested, and they will now have to cheer for every play that happens for the entire game. So I hope we sell throat tea and all of that stuff at the concession stand.
Gonna make a lot with that.
Yeah.
But it's very interesting to see the Bard. I'm really excited to see it. It was a contested pick. I remember at Worlds.
What if they had the same coach and he walked out and shook his own hand? He just stood in the middle and drafted both sides.
What a good draft.
Hey, great draft, bro. Great draft. Great draft. Thanks, me.
Looks like we have a bit of a pause here.
You're supposed to wait till they tell you to say it, but I respect it.
I think we all saw it on the screen.
Did we? I think that's... Oh, did we?
Kamiloo's screen was paused.
Production has informed us that Bard is Busio's best champion. Actually, you know what I would really love to do, which we can't do, is just call in Hazel right now. Because I don't think people appreciate this. Shout out to Hazel. He was the biggest Busio salesman on the face of the earth.
Really?
And it got to the point where it was like, bro, we know Busio's really good, but if anyone spoke ill of this man, he would shut them down.
Wow.
And so much of the success that Busio had last year in the development that he had to player was, I think, that big level up that comes at top level supports when you go beyond how do I place vision, where do I need to be, but the next level above that, which is where is their vision going to be? When am I showing? Kind of always denying that information, moving around like that when it comes to you know, finding these perfect plays and knowing the value of a champion being hidden and kind of how that can mess with the enemy team. And I'm curious to see in a new season where it's pretty easy to just get a ton of vision.
Yeah.
If that's something that he can actually do.
Yeah. I mean, I'm very curious. I felt like in that FlyQuest roster, Inspired and Whipoff had like the brains of the team. So I want to see how Busio meshes up with a completely new lineup here. I do want to say that Yike and Inspired, very similar players. Both love to full clear, kind of play a slow game and scale up into the later stages.
Not similar personalities, though. No. Pretty opposite. I don't think I've ever heard Yike say a bad thing about anyone.
That's true. He's a very nice
I've never
guy.
checked his solo queue chat logs, though. So
he can be a bit annoying in solo queue, but so can every jungler. It's a mental test to play jungle in solo queue.
Fair. Have you done it?
I have done it, yeah. I played today, actually.
That sounds awesome.
Got auto.
How'd it go?
I got 60 LP. I got the Aegis, double LP.
Nice.
It was very good. It was very good. That is such a good system.
Yeah.
Good job, Riot. Good job.
Do we? I think we should just poll. Do people want us to cast, or they just want us to hold the mic up to the KC fans? So they're just gonna go.
But they're booing and they're cheering at the same time.
I think they're going, ooh. I don't think, I think
they were booing. I thought
you
they
thought they were booing and cheering?
Yeah, I thought
they're trying to 50-50 each other?
Yeah.
That would be cool.
That would be pretty cool.
If they're like, guys, we want to give you the same fan experience, so we're actually going to split into groups. Yahoo! In the mid lane. They got clapped on that level 1 trade. Kind of to be expected. Clearly level 1. Pretty oppressive.
Kamiloo warmed up with the ping pong. He's ready to play.
Just remember, Jack, this is a veteran caster lesson here is don't fanboy over like random little plays. Just a note as we get the initial engage. Caliste taking a ton of damage. This trade not working out super well. The Ignite's already down and Caliste chunked. The Ignite taken out.
Very good trade there by Prime and Hazel. Able to get the barrier out of Caliste. So they still reach level 2 first.
We've cast for cursed them already, as what appears to have happened here.
Yeah. Now, I feel like we're going to be so critical of Caliste Busio now if they make
we set the expectations
mistake.
sky high.
Yeah.
There's 2 versions of players you're excited for. One is you overanalyze small plays and give them like crazy credit you shouldn't. Like, oh yeah, he was thinking 5 steps ahead, that this guy was going to like step left. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. I'm a big SK apologist. I've accepted it. Production is praying they don't make playoffs so they don't have to like bench me just in case I go on some tirade. Like, Vicky's got it all figured out, guys, I swear.
Wow. He's the first to ever do this.
Shut up. Regardless.
Okay, Busio.
Bard in the mid lane, roaming at level 3. just walks in, procs electrocute, and just keeps hitting Kamiloo.
Very annoying, like his job is to be.
There you go.
It's gonna feel bad for Kamiloo as well, especially because he already used that teleport. And now Kyeahoo can TP back in the mid lane.
Oh my god, I love this name is Kyeahoo.
Yeah.
It's gonna bring me a lot of joy this year.
Yukino able to get the crab. I think Yukino as well is a player I'm really, really excited by. Watched him a lot in EU Masters, and he looked really, really good. And he's very, very aggressive. A little bit reminds me a bit of 1-1-3, just with how he's willing to go for every play he sees and just try to kind of mechanically outplay it. And I know the community perception is not the highest on 1-1-3, but I was always very impressed by his instincts and how he was willing to do things that a lot of other junglers aren't, because I think that's really what it takes to
make it.
Yeah.
You gotta kind of push the envelope, right? Like the people who discover things in the jungle and find creative options, you see Caliste E-forward there, but Hazel unconcerned. 2 stacks of Blight as he procs with the Piercing Arrow. Yukino now moving to the top side. Canna does have flash available. Yukino peeps his head out and immediately leaves.
Yeah, Canna just holding his space there.
It's
quite strong. Very interesting how actually with the Ignite. Normally not a matchup we'd expect to see it in at all, since it's very hard to kill the Scion.
Yeah.
But he still opted to go for that just to have a little bit more kill pressure. However, it does leave him vulnerable now as you see Canna TPs back into that top lane. And will maybe get to hold this wave.
Does
or
obviously
gets the recall.
You can't get to lane obviously much faster, but yeah, that was one thing that we weren't certain about. We assumed that in pro play, TP would remain kind of the standard despite the changes with the role quests that obviously allow you to have access to the global sum later stages of the game. So
I do think though in solo queue, Ignite just seems to be the way to go.
Yeah, correct. I would agree. One thing I do want to talk about KCB, and you kind of hit on it earlier, right, is that this is a team that is designed to scale into the year in a league that is not necessarily LEC. And so I really want to give them credit and kind of highlight just how young this team is. Because, again, on average age of the team 20.4, average age of teams in the LEC overall 23.3. These guys are babies. Per player, 10 games on average to see the hook coming in, whereas per player across the league is like 156. This is an incredible contrast, and I'm just really excited generally, whether we see it in this game or not, to see how these guys function under this kind of pressure, whether it's pressure or a big learning opportunity. It is this very unique case that LEC Versus has given us that it's kind of hard to recreate anywhere else.
Yeah. I think it's really exciting to see their potential. Kamiloo here getting shuffled.
Kamiloo is now flashed to the side from Yike, wants to get in and steal, but that's the objective secured by Yukino. Kyeahoo's stepping in, but remember, he doesn't have access to the ultimate. Busio waiting off to the side.
First strike.
Forced to walk away as KCB get the first strike.
A big win for KCB.
I gotta say, KC's dominating this game.
Yeah.
No matter what happens, KC will win. And lose. It's a struggle.
It is a struggle. But still, good individual laning here from KCB to start off the game. I mean, not falling behind against any of their more veteran counterparts. I think they're very happy with this, being able to pick up the first strike as well. And we see Yukino with a pretty decent camp lead onto Yike, able to get a little bit ahead of him, especially on the Vi as well, very pivotal, already hitting the level 6.
I'm ready for him to get active on the map. Caliste now taking a level 6, Busio only level 4. Did roam a decent amount. Chimes, of course, going to mitigate some of that XP difference, but maybe Caliste can make good use of the level 6. Hazel, pretty good hit rate on these Qs.
Yeah.
Wow, also going to land. I'm now starting to back up. Aftershock already proc. Hazel's getting a little bit lower. That trade overall, awkward once you get under the tower.
Yeah,
Hazel had already used the Q. That's the ulti from Caliste. Doesn't quite connect. That could have been deadly, but Hazel now has access to ulti of his own.
The problem there was Prime lands the hook, but Hazel's already used the Q. Doesn't have any follow-up.
He's just not afraid to hook. Flash away from Busio. Q, ticking, comment, Kamiloo out of nowhere! The Smile Bros keeping it going as Bliss now wants to get a kill back. Prime ready to body block. KCB in the lead.
But they're recalling a little bit too deep here.
Kamiloo, nice sidestep. Faster while he's close to wall. Trying to sidestep, trying to get tricky. Flick back, forcing the flash out of Caliste. If he makes it out of this.
No way.
Sidestep again. Getting tricky. Kamiloo. Oh, he's dead. Okay. Mystic shot hits. KC get their kill back. You can tell I haven't cast in a while because every time something intense happens, my pitch goes into the stratosphere instead of like down and serious.
Yeah.
I'm just, yeah.
Well, it's a really good aggression from KCB here as Prime continues finding the hooks. Hazel lands the arrows, and Kamiloo on the roam, able to pick up Busio. But then they decide to recall a little bit too deep, and KC has that crucial ward. The Yike is able to spot everything that's happening and see if they're leaving or not. Caliste is forced to burn the flash, but Kamiloo is just stuck between the carries there.
Busio.
No?
Ballbreaker is going to connect, ready for the follow-up, but Busio just barely able to make it out. Instant follow coming up for Yukino. With the cease and desist is Yukino now might be in trouble. Yike got a decent amount of damage. That is going to be the ulti pops. Yukino still hitting hard here. The pushback finally coming in. Kyeahoo finding his way into the midst of the fight. It's a close exchange. Kamiloo now involved as well. Needs a bit more damage. Front-end volley. Kyeahoo getting very low. The flick does manage to connect. Kamiloo gets him.
Oh, good sidestep by Kamiloo there. He's going to get the Talia passive. Look to try to catch Yike with the flick. Let's see if he can land it.
Extra movement speed. The flick.
He lands it.
Kamiloo! The Smile Bros. 3-1-1.
Wow. What a performance here from Kamiloo and Yukino. You can just see the aggression as Yukino starts off this play, chains the ulti to follow Busio through the portal, and kites down away from Kyeahoo crucially so that he can't reach him and can continue fighting Yike in the 1v1. Then Kyeahoo is forced to flash ulti, and Yike buys so much time here and gets 2 Triumph procs and nearly lives because of it, but Kamiloo lands all the crucial skill shots, gets the flick onto Kyeahoo, is able to dodge this Yike W, so Yike can't go in on him, and then takes him down in the end.
Is the closest game of the day so far KC versus KCB.
Okay, I mean the LR versus Fnatic game was like 0-0 equal goal at 22 minutes.
Yeah, but they just didn't do anything.
That's true, that's true. I mean, the SK game we just watched was also incredibly close.
Okay, you're right. I'm just getting ahead of myself. I'm excited about the moment, man.
Yeah.
It's the first week back.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, you're good. I mean, I think it's a fair call out. I need a reality check every once in a while.
Yeah. Speaking of reality checks, the Jace did not do 1,000 damage last game, but it was close.
It took you this long to accept it? That's fair. Luckily, he's not in this game, so we don't have to talk about it anymore. We can start the therapy session later.
No.
It only happened to you in solo queue, bro. It really did, I'm sure. So, continuing to clean up the objectives here. Needs a bit more gold. The Sundered Sky, such an important spike for both of these junglers. Both only a couple hundred gold away, you would assume, as I believe the combined cost is 500.
It's going to be a second dragon for KCB here. We'll see what the soul ends up being, but very good objective start for them. It's going to unfortunately be the Chemtech soul, which isn't the most impactful. It's decent for the Vi and the Aatrox, but definitely you're looking for a stronger Drake ideally than that.
Yeah. And I will say that as we get into the mid-game, one of the nice things about what KCB are doing is that it's very easy for them to set up these picks. You have the Vi, you have the Talia, the Nautilus. Great ways to sort of fight the Varus as well. The thing you really have to be scared of with this kind of Varus-Talia duo is Bard ultis. Really, really, really easy to get picked off if you overstep. Feel like such an impossible ability to dodge that Tempered Fate when you don't have any kind of movement speed steroids. Now Varus can get Youmu's, has instead opted for the Umbral Glaive, so a bit more vision denial instead of that additional movement speed.
Yeah, I've been actually thinking if Umbral Glaive could be hidden OP, because they changed it this season to now, if you're in a bush and you are, after being unseen for 1 second, your next auto attack on a champion does like 70 damage, true damage, and it scales up with your lethality. And it looked really OP to me because you only need to be unseen for 1 second, so you can go into a bush, go out, hit someone, go back in, go out, and do that back and forth. And I feel like someone like Varus especially could look to abuse that. We'll see if he gets that much value out of it, but then you also just have the Umbral Glaive passive in and of itself, just being able to spot the wards and the night vision that way. That will help out his team a whole lot.
And while that portion of the passive was nerfed, I think wanted it to be more, or Riot wanted it to be more than just that kind of vision denial utility item,
Yeah.
is still, or can still be, quite impactful, especially the comfort that comes from when it's off cooldown, knowing that you're not standing on a ward. Is Kamiloo able to sidestep there? Binding does finally connect. Yike is on the way, but Kamiloo still sitting pretty, still sitting comfortable, and KC brought 3 members to the mid lane, but now it's KCB's chance to fire back the heal to get out of range of Prime's hook.
I like this aggression from KCB though. It really feels like Yukino is fearless wherever he goes. As he's running now into enemy jungle, looking to cut Busio and Caliste off here.
Moving in on Kamiloo. Extra movement not quite there. Kyeahoo wants the extra damage down. Kamiloo flashing out. Yukino there to cover. True shot gets him! Sniped! The shutdown for Caliste.
Great ulti by Caliste there to catch Kamiloo out. And good punish by Kyeahoo. Kamiloo used all his spells on the wave to try to push that in to roam to bot lane. But that let Kyeahoo dash onto him and bring him so low that the Ezreal ult could take him out.
And need to see again if KCB can kind of keep up the advantage they were building earlier, because they're pretty steadily starting to fall behind in gold mid lane. The exception where Kamiloo has that bigger lead. Top lane Canna really comfortable, even after this first item completion from Tao. And obviously Caliste, 2 kills, no surprise to see a gold advantage there. I do think it's important to note though when you talk about, we talk about veterancy. I think one guy I do want to mention on the KCB lineup, it's not Kamiloo, who of course has that LEC experience, but is Prime. This is a guy who, while he hasn't made it to this stage before, has been grinding League of Legends competitive in Tier 2, Tier 3, wherever, since like 2015. Yeah. So no stranger, I think, to the pressure of a stage. See if it works out though, because a perfect setup from Busio means it should be an easy kill onto Kamiloo, but Yukino is there to body block, and Kamiloo's making it out thus far. Yike might just fall down. Kamiloo's still standing. Arrow over the wall. Good damage to follow. KCB not afraid to fight fire with fire.
And the KC Blue are fighting back. They're getting all the picks that they need, as it's Yike and Busio that go a bit too deep, trying to take down the members of KCB, and they can't get them. And that's 2 kills. Now going over for KCB with 2 Drakes as well. Third one spawning in a minute, as Caliste is looking to roam all the way top.
Instant ulti coming in from Canna. Flash away as Kyeahoo now goes into the bottom. Again, gets the pushback, flashes over the flick. Nice mechanics from the KC mid laners. Kamiloo is caught out.
Yahoo! Yahoo! He finds him. I mean, I was really hyped by Kyeahoo because when you look at someone like Poby entering our league, I thought Poby entering our league that he would be mediocre. I thought he wouldn't be very good because when he replaced Faker in LCK, the team looked so much worse. And it's like, yeah, it's pretty big shoes, it's Faker.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
But still, I felt like when I was watching him play, he didn't look LCK of caliber. But then when he came into LEC, he had really good laning, really good fundamentals. And yeah, you could see that sometimes the language barrier made it hard for him to play as on the same page with the rest of his team. He still looked really, really strong individually. So then you have someone like Kyeahoo, who I thought looked a lot better in the LCK. Him coming to our league, even though he's not the Chovy, he's not the... Oh, Busio's caught out here.
Self-ulti to keep himself standing. Flick not quite perfectly timed by Kamiloo. He's able to walk away, but they do get Busio's flash as well as his ultimate. Exchange for Kamiloo and Yukino's ults. Right, when becomes lightning doesn't hit. Flick doesn't hit. Oh, a travesty. Everyone on KCB saw the same play, but pushed their buttons at the exact same time, which led to, well, a bit of disaster in terms of cooldowns.
Crucially, they got the Yike ult, but Yukino with no ulti as well. I think they're just going to have to drop this objective.
Ulti from Caliste does also cancel Hazel in the mid lane. Wanted to reset, but was not able to. So quick Drake pickup.
It was a really, really good ulti by Busio to keep himself safe. They did not have any follow-up on Yukino's ult. And that's one of the big strengths of this Bard, is you can just ult whoever Vi's ulting to give them much needed reprieve and safety.
Wow, you said that with so much heart.
Thank you.
Like Bard is like hugging you and keeping you warm.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of is, technically.
It's like, it's like that or Morgana Black Shield. I think Tempered Fate seems more pleasant. I don't know.
Morgana Black Shield seems more pleasant, though. I mean, Bard is turning you into a golden statue. I think it's more pleasant to have a magic shield.
Yeah, okay, you're right. I don't know why I said that. Was dumb. Well, the more you know. Learning things here on today's cast is KCB starting the objective, their first here. They will be able to grab it. So in the extended play, KC still doing pretty well in terms of cooldown trading, but it is just objective for objective. Mid lane might be in trouble as Prime is resetting. Hazel left alone to hold this. However, unlike solo queue, pro play does just often come down to mid push.
Oh, stopwatch.
Good setup. Split going to connect with Kamiloo, but the rest of KC on the way. Busio not quite able to hit.
Nice mechanics this game. Both sides feel like they're willing to play their hand. Oh, but they're on a ward here. We'll see if KC look to punish.
On a mid lane. Ulti coming in. Hazel flash out. Exactly what Canna wanted. That's going to make the Vars pretty damn vulnerable coming into the next fight as Kyeahoo might still be in trouble. That's the ulti, the cease and desist, the flash forward, the flick back, and down goes Azir. Busio is here, however, doesn't really have the damage, but the rest of the team is still on the way. Stun gonna hit. Kamiloo will just get traded back as there's a TP to the top side. I don't think Tao's got any business here.
Yeah, Tao tries to salvage the play, but it's already too little too late. So it ends up being a 1-for-1, crucially with Kamiloo using his flash. They really would have wanted something more than that. But it's a good TP behind from Canna to collapse onto Kamiloo, so he's stuck in between the towers. The gold lead is slowly building up towards KC. As they wrestle control back of the game.
Yeah. Gotta see the KC organization's been playing fantastically this game.
Yeah.
They've also been responsible for all of the misplays. It's hard to know how I feel. How did they do it in 2014?
I'm not sure. I think you just get used to it, no?
Didn't they just talk about like pirates and stuff? I don't remember.
I feel like
I don't remember OG.
The thing is, you would like eventually start to feel like the teams have very different identities. Like Samsung White and Samsung Blue, they felt like really different teams, even though they were sister teams.
It's true. Is Busio Mada?
Is Busio what?
Mada?
Oh. There's no mana in this game, I think.
That's fair.
I think he's had a decent game, but it's not been like...
Oh, no, I just meant, I'm just mostly calling just doing random callbacks.
Oh, okay.
Because someone has to be if this is Samsung.
Like nostalgia baiting.
Oh. Canna winning this trade out. With extra healing reduction coming in. Tao regretting that auto attack as Canna just continues to bully him out. Now Herald's going to charge mid, or is it?
We got Mata in the mid lane. He's not letting that happen.
Mata is here! Shameless pandering. All right. Well, you gotta love Bard. Yeah. Sometimes the champ does nothing. Sometimes it looks like the most broken champion in the game. And that was those moments where it looks pretty strong, but Yukino wants to change things up. He's just gonna force the portal out for Busio as KCB have a lot of resources kind of committed onto the bottom side, but with a wave they need to catch, there's not anything else here for them. And this was the concern because we kind of crested the early game. We're now into the mid game where it's just about pushing waves, how you do your lane assignments, and kind of expect KC to be favored here. And so far, that looks to be the case.
Yeah, I think we're seeing a bit of the macro gap here. And also the individual laning prowess. When you're picking this Aatrox into the Sion, you really want to bully the Sion more and eventually get to a point where you can be the one progressing on side, but it's been Canna's game all day as he's just able to continue pushing Tao in. He's the one getting plates. He's the one who just continues to be so damn tanky that Tao has no counterplay to him. And then later on in the fights as well, you have a lethality. Varus is going to be really, really hard to ever try to take down Canna.
No, yeah, definitely. I think this is also one of the reasons that the Zen is going to feel so good, right? Is pretty much all of the KCB damage is longer range. Really hard for them to connect onto Yike if Yike does not miss position. KC maybe looking to follow up as the Scuttle Crab does go down. Dragon has spawned, would be third for KCB, second for KC. Engage onto Canna is decent, but again, he's just so damn tanky. He's built entirely armor up till now, and there's just not really enough damage from Kamiloo to cut through that health bar. Yukino keeping his eyes on the objective as Tao's ulti starts to fade. Kamiloo on the flank, but KC grouped up as 5. Busio and Caliste split from the rest of the team. Tao trying to go over, but he gets blocked by the wall. Q now coming through the full channel. Yukino gets cut out. Caliste completely untouched, but they do manage to take out Kyeahoo. Good ulti coming in from the Vars. Hazel connecting, but it's Canna in the back like a bunch. Hazel doesn't miss, but it doesn't take him out of the decimating smash by Pixels. However, it does not matter. Canna grabs that one. Tao still going. Caliste going forward, and it just does not matter. KC taking out KCB. They'll get the Drake.
And KC cleaned them up. It's a valiant effort by KCB. I love Yukino's engage, but it's just not enough. They don't have the damage. Canna is just a raid boss in the back line here, as nobody has the damage to take him down, as we'll see in the replay. I really, really like how Yukino went for the flash Q onto Kyeahoo. He chained it into the ultimate, and Kyeahoo dies here without doing really any damage, but so does Kamiloo as they're able to get onto him. Hazel wants to flash to try to kill Yike to get away from this Med Scion, but he doesn't get over the wall crucially, and then Tao is left on his lonesome up against 3 members, and he's not as strong as this Scion. He's not the raid boss that KCB so desperately needed. So they lose the fight, and they lose to Drake.
That they do. Caliste opting for Voltaic Cyclosword third.
This is a crazy build.
He's going to hit hard. The thing is, like, he can't kill a tank to save his life, but
there is no tank.
There is no tank, so man's trying to hit like a truck.
Yeah.
Gotta respect it.
I was thinking that Ezreal would be pretty weak with the new season, since the new Essence River is kind of clunky on him because it scales with crit. And in general, I feel like when crit champions are good, Ezreal isn't the happiest. But one thing that Dagda has talked a lot about is kind of the best Ezreal in EU, or I think undisputably is the best Ezreal in EU. It's just how much build variety you can have on this patch. And it's been interesting to see Ezreal today. We've seen some Essence River. I think in some other leagues we've seen some Trinity Force still. And now we're seeing a more like full burst type of Ezreal build here with this Cerildus, or with this
Voltaic.
Yeah. Yes.
Making his way out of the bottom side of the map. Not really into friendly territory, however, so does need to be careful because Busio is now on the chase. Kamiloo.
Well, the bar channel.
Channel that one out. And you can see what was once a very close game is now a 4,000 gold advantage, and almost 5 now for KC. That is Canna in these fights, as well as in his individual lane, and Caliste, who's cleaning up a ton of these kills. So even though the farm is pretty close, right? 9 separating them, as Hazel now picking up his wave. Yeah, the gold.
I'm surprised the gold is so big. I think it's a lot of it is just plates. Getting those bot plates, getting those mid plates. Because, I mean, 4 to 1 kill is not that big of a deal. You wouldn't think it's a 3k gold difference. But it speaks a lot to the laning or individual prowess from the KC main team here, that they're able to just continue ballooning their own gold leads.
Yeah. And you can see for KCB, this is a bit of an annoying game to play, in that Canna gets to walk in and contest Yukino's blue, and even though they have 3 people on the bottom side of the map, they just smite it and walk away. They want nothing to do with trying to kill Canna. Especially with Baron now up, if they overcommit to punishing that side lane, very likely to lose position, at least, if not the entire objective. Ezreal not necessarily the first name that comes to mind when it comes to fast Baron taking, but Azir certainly is when it comes to mid lanes, next to Cassio.
Yeah. You can see how much control KC has, as Busio is able to just walk into enemy jungle, and even when Yukino goes in, he's completely fine. KCB not really able to reclaim control of their own jungle.
Canna moving down to the bottom side of the map, as is Caliste. I believe Caliste is spotted on the way down, though, so KCB know that they have a man advantage. That said, Tao is the one who needs to get the hell out of dodge. Starting the objective, seeing Caliste on the bottom side. Caliste no TP, no way coming to the fight, but Tao, if he lives a few more seconds, might be able to get them a little bit more. Goes in, Q3, doesn't matter as KC grabbed the kill, but again, all he needed to do was give a bit more time, give a bit more space. Now it's the TP coming in. Temper Fate, gonna connect on Hazel, the perfect target. The stun lined up, but it does not hit, crucially. Ulti coming in from Hazel, does connect, immediately gonna be Mikhail's from Busio. Now it's 3k on the objective. Yukino wants to go for the 50-50, they need a bit more damage on the objective, and Yukino manages to get it! In the debut LEC game. Not ideal to lose his life on the way out, but happy to at least take the objective.
And it's the miracle KCB needed as Yukino finds the smite. We'll see if it's enough. It's still a 5,500 gold lead with KC able to push them in, but at least it buys some breathing time for KCB as they can finally rest a little bit, farm these lanes and push out, and maybe kill this silent. Great smite.
Great smite.
I'm excited for this kid.
Excited for this kid too. I like how confident
Good job, you're the goat, Yukino. Oh.
Nice. That's the kind of positive affirmation we want to see on the team.
Yeah.
we are, the Red Bull Baron power play. It's negative. Now, admittedly, Baron does give less overall gold this split, so it's easier to find that situation. And the most important part of this buff for KCB is that KC don't have it.
Yeah.
That said, with Mikhail's there for Busio, once it comes off cooldown, Hazel has to be really scared. His only defensive tool is that ultimate. If he's ever caught alone when there's a Mikhail's to cleanse that ulti, nothing he can do. Is Tao is now learning firsthand why he doesn't want to be inside lane, but there's a bit of extra healing coming in. Another stun from Busio, however. And Kyeahoo grabs the kill.
Some great stuns by Busio there as they find Tao on the side. The crowd goes, Yahoo! Yahoo!
Wow! I wonder how long we get in trouble for that. Caliste. Knock up there, but there's no immediate follow-up. Yukino debating if he can go anywhere. The ball breaker, big damage. As that's the ulti out from Hazel. They do manage to get the Zhonya's here, but there's really no room for anyone on KCB to follow up as Canna just kind of going to full channel in their face. Tank the tower. 3 champions are hitting him. The flick back finally there. He's Mikhail's. They'll finally kill Canna, but Canna wants more blood. He's not done yet. His second life will end like the first. But it does mean that KC, despite not having a Baron at all, are the one to take a tower here.
Yeah, you can see that the Baron power play, it's just, they're not able to get anything done if they continue getting pushed in. We're going to be hearing Yahoo a lot.
That was just like a howl, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, respect. Like, I feel it, you know? We all sit in offices like all day. How often are you just going to yell as an adult? You look like a crazy person. But when you get to esports,
that's kind of your job, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, I'm one of the lucky few, like the fans in the audience. You know, we get to yell sometimes. Usually, hopefully not high pitched, but today, you know, working on my range. Got to be ready for next year. Mariah Carey comes on. I got to hit them Christmas notes.
I mean, with Yahoo in the league, that's definitely gonna help.
Yeah, it's so hard not to just make so many references. All of which I'm concerned will get me in trouble. So, in the meantime, credit Yukino for the steal. But KC Fred? KC Main? KC LEC? Not KCB. I have about a 6,000 gold lead. They are on Soul Point. The objectives are synced in such a way that it's going to be pretty tricky to fight around it. And short of another side lane collapse, Busio. Parked. Will just barely make it through the portal there. Does get stunned, but luckily does not get hit by the flick back.
I do think, for me, the highlights of this game for KCB has been Yukino and Hazel. I was really happy with how bot lane went and how, I mean, it's hard to say, right, because we need to see more from Caliste and Busio, but I feel like Hazel and Prime holding their own, getting good trades, speaks very well for me of them. And then just Yukino, how aggressive he's been, the Baron steal, and all the engages he's set up, and how he's kind of set up Kamiloo for success. I really enjoyed watching him play today.
Yeah. I also think it's important when you have a team like this where you're not sure what to expect and you want to be respectful of the players, that you just get a game on the board so you can see where they're strong, where they're weak. Remember, this is an almost entirely rebuilt roster. Well, we want to give them their credit, we want to give them their due. You don't just want to like dance around it, right? How good are they going to be?
Yeah.
And we've definitely seen some positive things in the context of this game.
Yeah, I think for an ERL roster, this team is very, very exciting.
Very scary. Yukino now caught out. That's the GA utilized. Kyeahoo waiting off on the side. Yukino down. His first LEC caster curse. Wow. And we were here for it. We did that, Jack.
Yeah.
It's our fault he died. Specifically us. As, Tao trying to get tricky with it. Lots of good healing, but the CC is very effective.
Yeah. The healing is there, the damage not so much. So they take down Yukino and Tao. This game is just slipping out of their grasp, but KC is in full control.
Oh, Kamiloo out. He's gonna split push bot lane. Oh, that is.
He doesn't want no Yahoo.
Nope. Don't want to mess with that guy.
No.
Very scary plumber. Kyeahoo keeps pushing top side. Oh, they're going to collapse. They're going to try to cancel some backs. Prime, fishing, tempo play. Kamiloo, no ulti, walking into the Baus special.
Yeah, this is straight out of Baus's playbook.
There it is, the Ezreal ulti too. Okay, Kamiloo finally flashing. Busio now on the way. Kamiloo can't stand next to any wall, which is tough because there's so many of them. Oh man, they're just using everything. Goodbye, Kamiloo.
You had a good run.
It was a good run. 07, brother. So that's a lot of people. Of course, there are no other objectives on the map, so it's pretty reasonable for KC to send everyone.
Yeah, but the problem now is Nash is spawning.
You know? What do you... Whoa. But
Now Nash is spawning, Soulless in 15 seconds.
Yep.
4v5. Kyeahoo puts down the mid tower. Hazel actually one-shots it
Hazel puts down the
before.
mid tower.
Yeah. They are just going to look for the soul. KCB can't really try to go for the Nash themselves. With the lethality virus, you have so little damage to these objectives. It's hard to look for any sort of return play.
Yep. All right, that's the soul.
Yep.
Which, if Sion already wasn't unkillable,
Makes him a little bit more unkillable.
a little bit more unkillable. Would have
It's
been
like higher infinity.
which does mathematically exist, I've learned.
Yeah.
Which is annoying. I didn't need to know that.
It's like when you're a kid and someone says like, I'm infinity better than
yeah,
you.
you have
I'm two
I have
infinity
two
better.
infinity better than you. And you're
Yeah.
like, that doesn't exist. Well, you're wrong.
Yeah, they were right.
They were right. I got to call my boy Liam and let him know at age 10 when we were arguing about who would be a better Super Saiyan that he absolutely had me beat. I thought infinity was enough. All right.
I always went for the infinity.
Infinity is crazy. What about two infinity? How about that one, buddy? KCB, one final hold.
The barrier.
Yeah, big shield. Also the locket.
Yeah, actually, they went a bit crazy there. He had Edge of Night, and they used barrier and locket. Bit of nerves, maybe, playing in.
Just don't want to take damage. Yeah. Round of
KC
applause
forcing them.
for someone.
For KC, really.
For KC, really.
Yeah.
I mean, credit to KC as an org. Like, I think they're an org that KC fans love. A lot of people who aren't KC fans love to hate. But, like, it's pretty impressive. You have two teams on an LEC stage right now.
Yeah.
Because now it looks like you're going to have one team with a Baron. And that is the KC main roster. KCB looking for a steal, but Kyeahoo answered, and the answer was no.
Well, KC gonna look to run down mid here with the Baron Nasher, with Tao down, with Kyeahoo. People are gonna get so bored of this.
No, you just keep going. It'll come
Okay.
full circle. Woo! I just keep going, guys. It's the start of the year.
Yeah.
People are salty already. They need a longer break, you know? I missed it. As KC are on the cusp of simultaneously losing and winning this game.
Yeah. So this looks to poke them down with the Baron Nasher minions. Canna level 20 here.
Dang.
Really showing that top lane impact that Finn has been talking about so much.
Roll as Yukino tries to find the angle. Flash forward. Canna is going to get flicked back. Initial engage looks actually pretty decent. Yukino goes right in. Busio makes them all go golden. Caliste is so far untouched. Going to try to fire back with a decent amount of damage, but Yukino just doesn't do enough to kill the Ezreal.
There was a valiant effort.
Forced back. Ulti still up from Canna. He is finally going to use it. Flick from Kamiloo is not going to connect. Yike locked up, but it doesn't matter. KC have won and lost. A good day for KC and a bad day for KC.